Welcome back. My next guest is just so inspirational. I'm ready to take up running with them. Brent Peace competed with his brother last year, Kyle, in the most famous triathlon of all, the Ironman World Championship in Kona, Hawaii. And the story is definitely one of inclusion. Brent, I love this. Thank you for talking about this.
Oh, thanks for having me.
How did this all come about?
Well, you know, I was having a lot of fun by myself, just getting back in shape, and Kyle witnessed my first Ironman, and that was really the seed for him. It was watching everybody, it wasn't just me, and he saw something that reminded him of his life and said, I can do this just like everybody else.
Wow, and you really tried for years, for quite a while, to be able to compete with him in this Ironman.
Yeah, so most road races and triathlons have a long-standing rule that you have to finish under your own power, and that was a well-intended rule to help, you know, moms and dads that wanted to push a stroller, to keep the races safer. But you know, when folks like Kyle came along, we had to kind of work with the races and petition and beg and plead and find our way in whatever door we could open.
And I love this picture is the picture that really changed everything. You've got your golden ticket
That's
right
right,
here.
yeah.
Awesome. Now Kyle, really a star in his own right, went
Yeah.
to North Atlanta. And you said he was what, homecoming king?
Homecoming king, yeah.
And very popular at
He was
school.
a very popular kid.
But had been in a wheelchair for quite a while. Tell us about Kyle's
So
condition.
Kyle was born with cerebral palsy with spastic quadriplegia, so all four limbs are affected by his CP. But he's, you know, so he's been in a wheelchair his whole life, but that's never really slowed him down clearly. Whether it was Homecoming King or Ironman, he's always wanted to go at a much faster pace than the rest of us.
And how was that first race with Kyle?
Oh, you know, there's nothing like it. Although I will say he showed up, he was working at Publix back in the day, and he showed up to that first race wearing his Publix uniform. So he hadn't quite learned how the how the sporting world worked, you know, with nice running shoes and the nice glasses. So I think you can tell he's slowly figured that out.
Is that you right there swimming and with him?
Yeah, so I pull him in a boat for triathlons, and then we use a special three-wheel bike where he sits up front. We always wanted to keep him up front. We didn't want to tow him. And then there's a great photo right there, yeah.
Oh.
And then on the run, we push him in a special run chair.
That's amazing. Now he's got his own nonprofit too. Talk about that.
So after his first triathlon, it was such an incredible experience for him. He just said, I want other people to experience this too. And that instantly became the Kyle Peace Foundation. So that was started almost after we started racing, right afterwards.
And I think it's interesting. You mentioned in a lot of the races, it's always the wheelchair race, but you know, he hasn't had to do that in these latest races.
No.
What does that mean for him?
It's, you know, at the core of what we do at the Kyle Peace Foundation is all about inclusion. And, you know, Kyle's been able to create that platform for himself and for others. And he competes, you know. I remember the first Peachtree we lost.
Oh,
he didn't speak to me for a few hours. He was a little upset we weren't quite quick enough that year.
You didn't lose.
Well, you know, ask the guy who, you know, but so it was really for him, it was about creating a fully inclusive opportunity where you didn't have to identify somebody by their disability or their ability, that you could look at them and say, it's really impressive what that young man's doing right now.
I love that. You guys have written a book. Talk about that.
Yeah, so we've wanted to do it for a while. So it's really our whole story of, you know, growing up and really our parents never setting limits on us and how that grew into what we do today with Ironman and the foundation and including everybody everywhere we can.
You doing Ironman again this year?
No, goodness no.
No more? Are you done training for those?
No, you know, the Ironman challenges him in a different way too, and so I know we'd like to still do it while we can, while our bodies and minds can carry us through that grueling distance, but I think for this year we can hit pause and enjoy what we accomplished last year.
Oh, absolutely. But you will be gearing up for Thursday, right?
Oh, absolutely. I got to be able to talk to him after the race.
Definitely have to be able to talk to him. You guys have an amazing relationship. Beyond the Finish is out now. People can get that where?
Amazon. Amazon is the best place, and hopefully it'll be hitting Barnes & Noble here as well soon, and other retailers.
I can also call you guys Emmy Award winning, right?
At least a few people who have told the story.
Thank you so much. We're going to tell that story.
That's right.
Coming up next, if you or someone you know is competing in this week's Peachtree Road Race, the official trainer's here with tips on how you can warm up and cool down to avoid those aches and pains later on when you go back to work.